Hello students, so I'm back with the same chapter, Memories of Childhood, but now today we are taking second part, second story of this chapter written by Bama. We too are human beings. So when we talk about this writer Bama, we can say she as a Dalit woman, she herself had faced many difficulties, and especially in 1992 when her book Kuruku came. So after that, she had to face many difficulties. Why? Because she was always ready to speak for the rights of the Dalit people or marginalized people. Okay, and especially at the levels of caste, gender, and class, when these people they faced some difficulties, she was always the first one to speak. And if we talk about Bama, she was also a teacher. So till retirement, she was a teacher from 79 to we can say 2015. And throughout her teaching career, she was always upholding the values which she had learnt during her childhood. And she was always the voice of marginalized people or the weak people in the society. So this story is autobiographical sketch, part of her we can say stay in a village. So let's start with this chapter. When I was studying in the third class, I hadn't yet heard people speak openly of untouchability. So untouchability was prevalent at that time, but she said I had never heard people frequently talking on this topic. Means that in those days there were no debates and all these things on the topics. Okay, so that's why she had never felt, she had never experienced, she had never even heard when she was in class 3. But I had already seen, felt, experienced, and been humiliated by what it is. But then, at that time only, she said, till that time I had never even heard people talking. But suddenly, something happened, and she could say that yes, she was also part of that society where she experienced the untouchability. I was walking home from school one day. Now she's narrating that experience, that how it happened that suddenly she realized that yes, she is a Dalit woman, a Dalit girl, and what does it mean being a part of Dalit society. I was walking home from school one day, an old bag hanging from my shoulder. It was actually possible to walk the distance in 10 minutes, but usually it would take me 30 minutes at the very least to reach home. Now, from whatever is given on this page and the next page, we can conclude one thing, that she was a lively girl. So, whatever is written, actually, it is showing that this girl, she was a very, very lively girl and she wanted to maybe live each and every moment of life. So now, from here, when she says that her school was at a distance of only 10 minutes, but she would take some time, more time. Okay, why? Because she would stop on the way and watch all the things and then enjoy life. That way, she would spend even more than 10 minutes. So, it was possible to walk the distance in 10 minutes, but usually it would take me 30 minutes at the very least to reach home. It would take me from half an hour to an hour to dawdle along. So she would be walking maybe very slow. Why? Because she would be watching each and everything around her, whatever is happening around her. So at least she would take 30 minutes, and sometime she would take even 1 hour to reach home. Okay, though it was distance of 10 minutes. Why? Because she would be enjoying each and every moment of her life. So now this is the detail given. It can be long question also. Okay, what are the things she would watch? Okay, on her journey from school to home. Watching all the fun and games that were going on, all the entertaining novelties and oddities is the street, the shops, and the bazaar. So, entertainments, entertaining novelties and oddities. Novelties means something which is happening for the first time, means if something new she would see, she would stop there. Or oddities means something which has never ever happened, very odd thing. So then also she would stop there. So one more word you can add, you can write down here that she was always a curious child. Curious means to know more and more. Okay, she was such an intelligent child at that time that she was always curious. She always wanted to get more knowledge or to know more about life. So now details are given, what kind of oddities, what kind of nullities, what kind of entertainment, okay, all these things. Sometime she would stop there, okay, on the way. Why? Because of the performing monkey. I mean, sometimes somebody is having monkey and the monkey is performing certain things and everybody is gathered and she would also stop over there. And sometimes the snake, which the snake charmer kept in its box and displayed from time to time. Sometime it would be snake charmer and the snake would be showing its, the snake charmer would be showing the snake and putting it in the box and trying to, tell the snakes to do something or the other thing. So this way snake charmer or the monkey is performing and she would be watching that. Then the cyclist, sometimes it's not snake charmer, it's not monkey, sometimes the cyclist, I mean the person who is having a cycle and he would be cycling for continuously many hours. The cyclist who had not got off his bike here means a cycle, for 3 days, and who kept pedaling as hard as he could from break of the day. Means sometime there would be a cyclist and this cyclist would be, pedaling the cycle for the last 3 days. Okay, means he has done everything on the cycle itself, and this is how she would stop there. And the rupee notes that were pinned on to his shirt to spur him on. And sometime naturally when he is, pedaling the cycle for last many hours, so people would be watching him and people would be giving reward money as a reward, or they would be pinning the money notes on the shirts, and the cyclist would not stop for all these things. So maybe he will slow down the cycle and then people would be pinning the notes, but he would continuously cycling. So this is also something that she would stop to see. The spinning wheels, then the Mariata temple. Sometimes she would stop in front of the temple. Okay, though temple is always there, but even then sometimes something new is happening, so she would stop there. The huge bell hanging there. Okay, so she would be just watching people who are touching the bell. So this way, all the things she would be watching. The Pongal offering. Sometime when it is time of Pongal, so naturally people would be coming to temple or to offer their prayers, and she would be just watching each and everything. The Pongal offerings being cooked in front of the temple. Sometime, okay, the prasad, everything is being cooked in front of the temple because there's no much space in the temple, and she would even watch that how people are preparing it. The dried fish stall by the statue of Gandhi. So there was maybe a statue of Gandhi, and there somebody would come and start selling dried fish. Okay, so she would stop there to see how the person is selling or how these dried fish look. The sweet stall, and sometime there would be sweet stall and she would just stand in front of that. The stall selling fried snacks and all the other shops next to each other. The street light always demonstrating how it could change from blue to violet. So all these shops, and sometimes she would suddenly start watching the street light. Okay, and this street light is changing its color, and it would be fun to look at, and she would stop there. Then the Narikam, hunter gypsies with his white lemur in cages. So lemur is also, we can say, monkey breed. So sometimes these hunter gypsies, they would come with their lemurs in the cages and they would be showing these lemurs, and lemurs would be dancing on the tunes and whatever, and she would stop there to watch all these things. Selling needles, and sometimes these hunter gypsies, they would be having certain kind of very odd things or very new things which are otherwise not available. So these would be needles or clay beads and instruments for cleaning out the ears. So all these things she would watch. Oh, I could go on and on. Each thing would pull me to a standstill and not allow me to go any further. So these ways, all these things are very small things, but even then she was so lively that she would stop there to watch each and everything. At times, people from various political parties would arrive. Sometimes at the time of elections, so party people would come and they would be giving speeches, long speeches over there, and she would stop to listen to them. Whether she understands or not, she was just third class child, so, but even then she would stop there because it would be a fun for her. So these parties would arrive, put up a stage, and harangue us through their mics. Harangue here means these politicians would be giving very noisy, loud speeches, long speeches. People are gathered over there, and she would also, for some time, stop to see this fun. Then there might be a street play. So, naturally, in those days, these were the entertainments only because there were no theaters, okay, as such. So, no TVs at home as such. So, that's why these were the entertainments. So, sometime there would be street play, people are gathered over there, and she would stop there. Or a puppet show, sometime there would be puppet show, okay, going on in the street, and she would watch that. Or a no magic, no miracle stunt performance, and sometime there would be some stunts performances going on, and she would watch all that. All these would happen from time to time, but almost certainly there would be some entertainment or other going on. Means maybe all the 365 days, one or the other thing would be going on, and that way she would always be late to reach home because she would stop to watch all these things. Even otherwise, there were the coffee clubs in the bazaar. The way each waiter cooled the coffee, lifting a tumbler high up and pouring its contents into a tumbler held in his other hand. So sometimes she would stop in front of a coffee shop and the people who are just pouring the coffee from one cup to another, and this way she would watch this fun also. On the or the way some people sat in front of the shops chopping up onions. So sometimes she would stop in front of the restaurants where the food is being cooked, and maybe few laborers, they are sitting in one corner, they are chopping the onions. And why it would be fun? Why? Because their eyes turned elsewhere so that they would not smart. Naturally, sometimes because of onion, the irritation in the eyes, and there are tears in the eyes, water in the eyes, and she would just look at those people how they are, cutting the onions and how the eyes are filled with water. So all this was a fun for her. Or the almond trees growing there and its fruit, which was occasionally blown down by the wind. Sometimes she would be just collecting some fruits which are fallen down because of the wind. All these sights taken together would tether my legs and stop me from going home. And she said all these things always seemed that these things were stopping me to go home, and that's why she said I would stop there. And then having this, and after watching this one only, she would go home. And then, according to the season, there would be mango, cucumber, sugarcane, sweet potato, palm shoots, gram, palm syrup, and palm fruit, guavas, jackfruit. So all these fruits, different fruits from season to season would be there. Every day I would see people selling sweets and savory fried snacks, paisam, halwa, boiled tamarind seeds, and iced lollies. So all these things would be there in that village market, and she would love to watch all these things, and that's why we can say that she was a lively girl. So this is a long list. This can be as a long question you can get. So learn few things which you feel are really very good to write or important to write. This way you will have enough material for your long question. So we stop here in this video. So next part we will do in the next video. Thank you.